Once upon a time, in a quiet village, nestled between green hills and flowing rivers, there lived a hardworking farmer named Heron. Heron wasn't rich, but he had something more valuable: his land. Stretching across acres, his fields were his pride and joy. Every morning he would rise with the sun, work till noon, and return home only when the stars began to twinkle. His sweat watered the soil, and his patience made the wheat grow golden and tall. This year was special. The rains had come at the right time, the sun had smiled upon his crops, and the fields were fuller than ever. Heron had dreamed of finally earning enough to fix his roof, buy new clothes for his children, and save for the coming winter. But one morning, he noticed something troubling. Flocks of birds had found his fields. Sparrows, pigeons, crows, dozens of them descended upon his ripening wheat and feasted freely. Every day, Heron watched helplessly as the fruits of his labor were slowly stolen by tiny beaks and flapping wings. At first, he tried shooing them away. He clapped loudly, ran through the fields waving his stick, and even placed scarecrows around. But the birds were clever and fearless. They always returned. One afternoon, Heron sat on a rock at the edge of his land, frustration written on his face. An old neighbor walked by and said, "Try setting a trap, Heron. These birds need a lesson, or you'll have nothing left." At night, Heron brought out a large fishing net and carefully spread it across a section of his field. He tied the corners to small wooden pegs and hid behind a haystack nearby. Early the next morning, as the first rays of sunlight warmed the sky, the birds came flying once again. They chirped, flapped, and landed happily on the wheat. But as soon as they began pecking, their feet got tangled. They flapped harder, but the more they struggled, the more trapped they became. When the noise stopped, Heron emerged from his hiding place. To his satisfaction, the net had caught several pigeons, a few sparrows, and to his surprise, a tall, beautiful stork. The stork looked very different from the others. It had snow-white feathers, long, graceful legs, and a slender beak. Its eyes were gentle and wise. As Heron approached, the stork cried out in a soft, pleading voice, "Kind farmer, please, please let me go. I am not like these other birds. I don't steal. I don't eat your crops. I came here only to visit my old friends. I made a mistake being with them, but I did no harm to your field." Heron stopped. He had never heard a bird speak so politely. He leaned on his stick and studied the stork for a moment. "Maybe you're telling the truth," he said, "but you were caught in my field, with the birds that have been destroying my crops. You may not have stolen from me, but you were in the company of those who did." The stork pleaded again, "Please have mercy. I help people. I bring good fortune. I visit newborns and bring joy. I've never eaten a single grain from your field." Heron's face was firm. "Words are easy, but your actions brought you here. I cannot make exceptions. If I let you go, what message will the others learn? That all they have to do is lie politely?" The stork lowered its head. "So I am punished not for what I did, but for who I was with." "Yes," Heron replied gently. "Because being with the wrong crowd can lead you to the wrong fate, Evan, if your heart is clean." With that, Heron carried away the birds to teach them a lesson and protect what he had worked so hard for. Reflection days passed. Heron's trap worked well. The birds stopped coming, and the crops were saved. But the farmer never forgot the stork's sad eyes. One evening, as he sat watching the sunset with his young son, he shared the story. "Papa," the boy asked, "do you think the stork learned a lesson?" "I hope so," Heron said softly, "just like I did. That even in punishing others, we must be fair. But life teaches us. Our choices and the people we surround ourselves with shape what happens to us." Moral of the story: choose your company wisely. Even if your actions are innocent, being with the wrong crowd can lead to painful consequences. Your surroundings influence your future. If you enjoyed this thought-provoking story and the valuable lesson it teaches, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to The Story Seeker for more inspiring and meaningful tales every week. Share this story with someone who might need a reminder that our company reflects our character. Until next time, stay kind, stay wise, and keep seeking stories that touch the heart.